Okay, and we're back. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We're just checking right now. It doesn't look like it's dropping any frames. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for that failure. Welcome back. For those of you just joining us, I'm Wasabi1. I'm here with Abraxas and our special guest, Mendasp. Mendasp, how are you?
I'm fine, I guess, so far.
Awesome. We apologize greatly for the technical delay. Unfortunately, I stream from my home, and the kids have to watch movies while I do this, otherwise they would kill me. So, let's talk about why we're here. This is the community development team. Scott and I, as we like to call ourselves, are the great shepherds. Well, no, we're just co-directors in glorious fashion. We get to take all of the credit for all the amazing work that are now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 15 or 16. Oh my goodness. How many programmers do we have?
Yeah, I think we have at least 12 programmers.
Good Lord.
At least.
Good
Lord. And then like several other members who don't program but help us out a lot, like the playtest leads and playtesters and stuff like that.
So, yeah, we want to say a big shout out to everybody on that team, but obviously we want to also welcome our new team members. And they've been around helping us for a little while as a playtester, but Mr. Almont has joined the team. And Almont will be helping us moving forward in relation to optimizing textures for the game, which is awesome.
And I heard possibly more as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, so it'll be really exciting to see what comes from there. So welcome, Almont. We hope everybody welcomes you as well with open arms, because we know that they will. That's totally what this community does, and we love you guys for that. We see that there's lots of you guys in here today, so welcome and thanks for tuning in. We know that you guys are really interested in 267, so we're going to go ahead and delay and talk about NS2+.
Yes, that's my kind of thing. I really like this topic. Let's go.
So the reason why we're not going to talk about 267 yet is we always find that there's a few people that kind of tune in more around, the middle of the show. So in about 10 minutes or so, we'll probably get into 267. We got some exciting stuff to show you and talk about, and we'll be taking all of your questions really any time here. So go ahead and bring them to us. But let's talk about this, because this is probably my favorite slide that I've ever done for NS2, because this is the new stuff slide. NS2 Plus is so cool, we had to steal. So, Mendasp, you work on NS2 Plus. This has kind of been your baby for the last few months.
A year now.
Oh my God, has it been a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Time
that was when it was Chud.
Yeah, it's been more than a year, I think. Started like April last year. There was a break last summer, but it's pretty much a year active.
Wow. Well, you guys have noticed there's been a lot of changes to NS2 Plus if you use it already over the last couple of months, especially since the CDT took over. There's a lot more excitement going on by the CDT team as well, because of the fact that we can bring a lot of these features into the vanilla build, as we call it, for those players that don't subscribe to the mod. Which, of course, I mean, come on, it's Mendasp. Everybody subscribes to the mod already. But we want to make sure that some of those visuals and the experience that you gain by the addition of things like hit sounds and some of the other neat features that are in there come through to new players as well. So when they open up the game, it looks more polished and they have a lot more options to, turn on and off to allow themselves to have a much better experience.
Yeah, man, that's options. Don't you love options?
Yes. Everyone loves options to a point where I don't want more options, but everyone keeps asking for them.
Yeah.
So the menus, yeah.
I think the thing that's funny to me is specifically your options menu. Like, I love NS2 Plus, but when I load it up, I only load it up on servers that have it. I don't have the mod installed locally because I like to still see what's not in the game so I can bug Mendasp about it. And most of the time I'm answered with, of course, it's already there. But one of the things is that menu is humongous.
So, yeah, the thing with that menu is I don't even know where things are anymore. Like, and I should have. I used to know, but I don't know anymore, because every time Like, I add something and I expect, like, this is good for everyone, no one will complain. But someone always at some point complains, can I disable this, please? And then, after a few rounds of arguing in the forums or something, I end up having to add the option to keep everyone happy about it. So, yeah.
You're so considerate, Mendasp.
Well, it doesn't hurt, and there's, like, I did it once, so I
sounds like it
cannot
does.
stop. I cannot stop doing it now.
So let's talk about some of the stuff that you've implemented from NS2 Plus for 267. I think one of the neatest features that I'm, really in love with is the outlining of weapons and the expiration bars.
Yes. In 267, we've introduced two features from NS2 Plus. One that was done by Remy, one of the first things he contributed to NS2 Plus. He contributed so much that I added him as a regular contributor and added him on the workshop page and everything. So he did the outlines, the colored outlines, so the colors match the inside colors for the ammo. So shotgun is green, green launcher is purple, and flamethrower is yellow. And then the other feature is a lot of people asked all the time that they wanted to know, like, when a weapon was going to disappear, so they could know if they could run to get it before it went away. So that was added to NS2 Plus and now to Vanilla.
And, when you're making the decision to move things from NS2 Plus to Vanilla, what comes, how do you make that determination?
Well, I know we cannot have options for absolutely everything, because obviously we don't want an options menu like we want to have. So first things is like checking for stuff that I'm doing that doesn't really have an option, like the outlines, or things that make so much sense that they should be on by default on Vanilla. Like, it just makes the game better, right? So those are the kind of features that I propose for Vanilla first. Or get proposed, actually. I don't always propose the options myself.
Yeah, sometimes we just come in and magically there's new options that we didn't even ask for.
Yeah.
So, what should people expect? I mean, is there anything special and new that has not already been released in NS2 Plus that is coming out with build 267?
Well, you mean from, I don't know, that I have done myself?
Yeah, of course.
I think I've only done NS2 Plus stuff in this patch.
All right.
But you know what kind of is the most important thing is from NS2 Plus that has been adjusted?
Hit sounds.
Yes.
Hit sounds, yes.
I cannot begin to tell you, we were talking about this before we started the Clogcast today, that holy crap, hit sounds make a huge difference for those of us that are not already skill with weapons. I think it's
some of us.
Yeah. Well, come on, Albie. Come on.
All
be
right.
honest. So we have not implemented the hit sounds that are necessarily there in NS2 Plus because those are copyrighted hit sounds from things like Dystopia and Quake. But we have come up with a nice base hit sound to use in Vanilla that is already there by default. It's just set to a volume of 0, so you can adjust the volume. And you'll get a sense from the volume in-game as you move the slider. It'll make the noise so you can get an idea of how loud it is. I will tell you that my feeling is you want it to be a little bit louder than what you think is loud enough. Because when you're in combat and everything and it's going off, sometimes it blends in a little too well.
But the great thing about the way that the hit sounds have been implemented in 267 is that they're exceptionally easy to mod. So expect a full range of hit sounds available on the workshop when 267 goes live.
Yes, I've actually I already have all the mods prepared for all the NS2 Plus hit sounds options for the workshop. You can subscribe to the one you're using, so that should make like the transition much better. If there's a server without NS2 Plus out there, which I hope there isn't.
Well, I mean, again, Mendasp, I mean, come on.
Come on.
But yeah, like he said, having that mod available for you guys in the workshop to change those hit sounds. Again, if you don't want to use NS2 Plus, we don't blame you. I mean, Mendasp cries at night for every user that's not currently subscribed to it. But you do have the option to subscribe to that mod as well and try different ones. I have to tell you that I think in the end, we were all really happy with the hit sound that's in the game, in the vanilla build.
And that was created by both myself and Flatterectomy. So high five, Flat.
So, we talked about some cool NS2 Plus stuff. And we've got, about 145 people in here. Guys, what do you think? You think it's time to...
Should we talk a little about, I don't know, hitchy stuff?
Yeah, I mean, let's really dive into 267 here. And Mendasp is, as you guys know, he's an all-knowing person. NS2 Plus is just his way of bringing awesomeness to the community. But, really, he's fluent in all things NS2. So, Mendasp, last week or not last week, but our last Clogcast, we alluded to some of the changes that have been going in from our dear friend Matzo in relation to hitching. And trying to create a way to smooth out those hitching problems. How does that happen? I mean, what exactly is happening for this experience to take place?
Right. So in previous builds, like the pre-catching process was pre-catching a set of files that the game thinks it needs for the game. The thing is, it was ignoring a number of things that was supposed to be like small texture and stuff, but obviously the first time you see it, it will try to load it, block the... Basically, you'll get a hitch because it's trying to load something at that moment, and it won't update until it gets it. So what it's doing now, it's pre-catching more stuff, so more things are in system memory and video memory. So they are readily available instead of trying to get it from disk, which is a really slow process compared to how the speed of the memory is. So that makes for less hitches. It doesn't really mean, because I know people are expecting higher FPS, this doesn't mean higher FPS, it's a smoother game. This is especially important for people that aren't playing on SSD drives, just normal hard drives. So the game will be smoother through the game, like no hitching, because it's trying to load things from the hard drive.
Right. So we want to make sure that we stress this a lot because, Mendasp was, Matzo was really awesome to go on and put, the 2 posts that he did about the work that he's been doing. And we want to make sure that people understand that we have never promised any miracle performance increase, but what we have continually said is that we want to smooth out or refine the existing performance that's there so that it stays consistent. And this is a big first step to doing that. We have to say thank you so much to Matzo for all the hard work that he's putting into this. And this is only the first iteration. In 268, we are beginning to test the final piece of all of this to help with even more. So it's pretty amazing what is coming to be out of this. As far as the load times go, I believe Mott's even posted some of his numbers that he's found between regular hard drive load time, SSD load time, pre-267 and 267. And it's really not that much more. You will notice that it probably says initializing game a little bit longer. And that's just because, again, it's pre-caching stuff that has never been pre-cached before. But once it does it that one time, you'll notice that moving on to the next map and things like that will move a lot quicker as well.
And plus you also have the new options in the menu for graphics settings, which will help an awful lot of people. And it'll help probably the lower end people more than the higher end people. Stuff like setting your graphics card memory value can help a lot of people. And also the new multi-threading for the physics will help a lot of people, especially at the end game. But those are a little bit experimental, So we really want feedback on those new options. So we'll ask you guys to post on the forums how performance and things like that is for you with using those options.
All right. Well, I think we've made everybody wait long enough. I think it's time to reveal the changelog video. Obviously, this is not a changelog in its entirety, and we'll talk more about the changelog here in a moment. But ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever outside of the CDT, we bring you our Intel update.
Hey guys, it's Super Effective here with another NS2 Intel update. The series which covers the updates of Natural Selection 2. Here you can get the latest intel on the most notable gameplay adjustments, new additions, and things to look out for. The full changelog will be linked in the description for your review. The community development team has been hard at work on Build 267 and has produced a mighty list of updates including some nice performance improvements, many UI enhancements, and some small map tweaks. So strap in because there is a ton of stuff to go over. You can now set the VRAM value in the options menu. For users that have less than 2 GB of memory on their video card, setting this to be as close as possible to the amount of memory on your graphics card might help reduce the hitching you may have previously experienced in NS2. Another new experimental option has also been added that can improve late game performance on some computers. Try out the multi-threaded physics option to see if this helps you out. Let us know on the forums if you have experienced any improvements. The Organize Play button on the main menu has been replaced with Quick Join. The Quick Join function has been improved to take into account player skill, rookie-friendly mode, favorites, performance, game mode, player count, and reserve slots. The skill system is now based on community member Moltano's proposal. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to find out more. The performance column on the server browser now shows the average server tick rate instead of the current. The skill column now displays different symbols that better represent the players in that server. You can roll over them to see a tooltip of what they mean. We have added a warning message for rookie players attempting to join servers with more than 24 player slots. Please understand that NS2 was not designed for player counts beyond 24. And this is intended to set reasonable gameplay and performance expectations to these players. When you drop a weapon, it will now be thrown with a little bit of force to help with overlapping weapons. The dropped weapons will also have different colored outlines, weapon-specific ammo models, and an expiration bar. Mines will now show a blue or yellow outline to spectators depending on if it has been parasited. The grenade launcher will now use its own icon in your inventory and buy menu. A new hit sound has been added to indicate when you've hit a target. Its volume is adjustable in the options. The pitch of the sound is based on shotgun accuracy, railgun charge, and the number of players hit by a xenocide. The sound itself can be customized by mods. The whip's AI has been improved to attack their targets more reliably. The max will now avoid the face of a player when welding them or when following them. Max and arcs will now exit from the inside of the robotics factory. The infantry portal now shows the progress and name of spawning players. The armory and infantry portal arms will no longer block bullets. The phase gates and gorge tunnels will now always show the name of the destination. Gorge tunnels will also show its owner when looking directly at it. Marines who have picked up a catalyst pack will now show a purple outline to commanders and to spectators. Alien players will be able to see the progress of gestating teammates and what type of egg it is, except if it is a skulk egg. The Marine Commander UI now shows the number of Marines currently respawning. The kill feed now highlights your enemy player kills. It also scales with resolution. Lurks will now see damage numbers for the poison bites damage over time. When a structure bleeds out, the kill feed will credit the kill to the last player who dealt damage to it. Past votes now take effect immediately instead of running down the timer. Jetpacks will now show up on the scoreboard, thanks to Wisecrack. The Marine scan sweep icon on the map has been fixed to better reflect the scan range. The alien's bone wall icon will now display on the minimap. Marine structures on the minimap now update properly when being recycled or power surged. Rookie player names will now show green on the map for teammates. Ready Room Special mod has been integrated to allow skulks to leap and fades to blink. Eggs can explode and exosuits can eject with the G key. The game has been fully translated for French, German, Russian, and Spanish. Check them out in the options menu. I will leave a link in the description where you can help translate for other languages. The tutorial has been fixed, so new players who are having difficulty before should check that out. Vale had gorge tunnel placements added to the elevator in Overlook and the corridor between Dome and C12. Kodiak now has a bridge cover in Central Biosphere and noticeable changes near Upper Rapids. And finally, Tram had gorge tunnel placements added to the elevator in Elevator Transfer. That about wraps it up for this Intel update. Please leave any feedback or bug reports on the official NS2 forums. The community development team would love to hear from you. Don't forget to spread the word because there has never been a better time to play NS2. Until next time, see you all on the next respawn.
Alright, and a big thank you to It's Super Effective for yet another awesome video. And I'm sure as all of you guys are noticing, that video included a significantly large amount of changes.
But that's not even like
No.
all of them. Anywhere near.
Not even close. And so for those eyes only, I'm gonna quickly, okay, because it's still hidden to all you guys here.
Get ready with your print screen keys.
Yeah, here we go. Print screen keys. So this is the official changelog in its entirety here, guys. This changelog was approximately 5.5 pages long of all the things that have been changed, adjusted, updated, removed, done, whatever you can think of. We've done it in this changelog here. It's mighty large. So just understand,
it was very long.
We can't fit all
like
of that
9 pages of Google Doc.
Yeah, we can't fit that into one video. So let's talk about some of the things that we saw in that first. One of the big things that we know, there's a lot of people that use the auto pickup feature for weapons. So, we love the new one where it's kind of tossing the weapon out in front of you now. And of course, you guys got to see the highlighted weapons like we talked about, which is really awesome. This will help a lot of people that were complaining that like they have auto pickup, so they're dropping and picking up. And also you're
wait.
Go ahead.
Auto pickup is not in this patch. It's in NS2 Plus, but it's not in this patch.
Well, but for those using NS2 Plus,
yeah.
There we go. One of the things that I don't really think is highlighted in the video that I'm really excited about as a spectator is you can now zoom in and out in commander mode and in spectate mode by using your next weapon keys, or by default, it's just typically your mouse wheel unless you've disabled it. And so you can zoom in a lot further than you ever have before, which is kind of nice in some situations when maybe you're spectating and streaming and you don't want to show third person or first person view. You can actually get really close to see what's going on. It's kind of neat to look at it from that perspective. And then you can easily reset the camera back to default, which is really cool. Mendasp, what are some of your favorite pulls from 267?
My favorite
That's
what,
not
sorry?
in NS2. Your favorites from not NS2 Plus.
Wow. Let me think.
Well, I know one thing that Mendasp is really happy about is translations. The Spanish translation was done, as you heard in the video there.
Yes.
Now, we want to make it very clear that right now we are really working on Czech, Italian, Norwegian, Polish, Swedish, and Portuguese, all of which have submissions already. You'll be able to visit the link on the changelog and hopefully add more, or you can go to translate.unknownworlds.com, create an account, log in, and help us to provide even more translations of the game for people. So, we really hope that we can get more community help with those translations. Abby, what about you?
Oh, I think my favorite is just the reduced amount of hitching. I mean, the game feels like A lot of people have said this, and I didn't really get it until you actually played 267. Like the frame rate in NS2, people have said it doesn't feel right, or in like compared to other games, whereas now I can feel it. You know, it feels silky smooth, and that's just due to the it's just not loading virtually anything anymore. So there's no hitching, so it just feels smoother. And then with the multi-threaded physics turned on, the late game frame rate is just nicer. It's not amazing, but it's a lot nicer. So I think that's just changed the way the game plays for me, and I can just feel it when I play.
I just thought of something. If that's so, but I'm not sure if I should talk about it. It's related to the servers.
No. Why would
Okay,
you?
then
We're excited because servers are awesome. We love server ops. Thank you so much, guys. That's great.
yes.
Well,
the new skill system then.
The skill system. I think this is probably one of the
Yes.
biggest things to come in 267 beyond the hitching fixes. Moltano, right? Wow.
Yes.
So thank you to Lucas, Moltano, Samus Droid. Who else helped on this one?
Ghoul. was
Yeah,
working on
Ghoul.
this, I
Ghoul.
think.
I think you were in there too. We want to say thank you so much, because this is a whole new way of evaluating the skill data from each round, based on the server, the other skill levels, and everything. Mendasp, you probably know a little bit more about this than either Abraxas or I. What can you tell people about the skill system?
Well, the thing about this, I didn't work on this very closely, but from what I can understand is you get skill points related to the expected outcome from your current skill, which means that if you're stomping people way weaker than you, you don't get as many points as you were getting now, because right now it didn't take your opponents into account when calculating the skill. So it's more fair, it's much better, it's more accurate, you could say.
And that's what we hope.
Like,
that's
yeah.
It's a better way for us tracking skill on the back end and how things are working, but it's also great for you guys because it's more accurate for you. So those improvements will obviously be moving through to Hive and everything. You'll be able to track a lot more of that data, which will be really awesome. So thanks again to everybody that worked on that.
Yes, and in the server browser you have, as the video showed, this skill column is now useful finally, because it shows the relative skill level of the server compared to yours, so you know the server to choose, and you don't have to be worried about like stomping or getting stomped, really. So
yeah, and we can talk about that. There's 5 different icons that you will potentially see when looking in the server browser. Starting from the top, at the high end, this server has mostly players better than you. This server has some players better than you. The server has skill levels similar to yours, which means pretty equal. The server has some players weaker than you, or the server has mostly players weaker than you. I like the note in the changelog. Joining a server like this can ruin the fun for all players currently playing there, so try not to join these. Obviously, yeah, we don't want pub stopping happening, and it's always nice to help the new players to the game learn about the game. So, maybe that will deter some people from joining those servers. I don't necessarily think that will happen, but we're just trying to show you how this skill system will help improve you finding the right server for you.
yes, but even if they join a server where they're going to stomp, they're not going to get any skill points from that. So that's the beauty of this. Like, they can do that, but not to boost up their skill level on Hive anymore.
One of the other things that I want to talk about is you obviously saw a little bit of attention given to the over 24 player servers. We want to make it very clear, and I know Avi stands right behind me on this. We absolutely appreciate the work that people that are putting up servers over 24 players are doing, and that they have a vibrant community, and that the people love to play on those servers. We absolutely appreciate that. The reason for the notice is primarily for rookie players that are joining servers and not moving into a server that could potentially have issues related to performance that are not within the spec of what was originally intended for. So,
yeah, because none of the maps were designed for over 24 players. The servers weren't they're not designed for more than 24 players. So whilst some servers can potentially handle that kind of thing, it's not. That's why we put the warning up, just so new players to the game can have realistic expectations.
Yeah, and you can hide that warning if you never want to see it again if you're a rookie player. Again, it's just there to help them understand if they are having issues, that there is a stronger chance that it's server side, not client side. We also want to talk about the skill system again, just to say that, I believe that, yes, we are resetting the skills in order to kind of move into compliance with how the new one tracks everything. But I don't believe that if you have reached the commander level and stuff, that part will be reset.
Well, your badges won't get taken away, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. No, we're not taking away your badges.
No, it's just the skill system, like the skill levels and stuff. Should we talk a little bit about why the patch has taken so long, actually?
It's my fault.
I like that explanation.
No, guys, when we test, obviously we have a timeline that we'd like to kind of hit. We were hoping to get the patch out, honestly, 2 weeks ago, and everything was looking great, and then suddenly we started having this massive problem. We found that there was an issue with the way that the game handles bandwidth when you change the map. Some stuff was fixed. Took a couple days actually to really pinpoint what the issue was. We tried numerous fixes and then finally found exactly what the culprit was. Took care of it. We were all excited. We got into testing again the next week, and then we started finding just all these issues that started coming up that, let's see, what's the best way to explain it? Our favorite analysis is probably the plumbing analysis. There's an old building. You've got pipes, and they've got, things fixing leaks on pipes here and there. And as you go and fix one really good one, the pressure changes and suddenly 4 of the leaks pop in 3 other places. And you've got to fix them.
I have to give a shout out to Ghoul because he has been fighting these leaks really, really hard. I mean, he basically fixed one bug, and then that uncovered bugs from seriously nearly 3 years ago that have been in the game. And then he's been fighting those, and then those have unlocked more bugs, and it was ridiculous. But the good thing is we had an amazing play test a few days ago, and the server had no errors, and
we had like a 45-minute game on Mineshaft. I mean, because we tested all the maps, but we just had some crazy epic games, all sorts of stuff going off, exploding and expansion and 24 players. We really try to put as much stress on the servers and everything as we can when we're doing this stuff. We feel confident now that the patch is where it needs to be to release to the public. So we can tell you right now that we're just testing tomorrow just because we don't like to release patches on Monday. The patch will go out on Tuesday.
Woohoo!
So there you go, guys.
Hopefully.
Noon PDT Tuesday, 21 CEST Tuesday. The changelog will hit, the video will hit, and the patch will all hit Steam at the same time Tuesday. So we hope you guys are all ready and excited for that. But let's go ahead and open this bad boy up to questions. We've seen them coming in. We've answered a few of them here and there. But we want to be able to answer any questions that you guys have got. I already answered Stylish is out. When is it coming out? Well, I just told you. So there we go. Tuesday it is.
Oh, and Derelict is fall 2009. People.
Yeah. We can tell you that Derelict is being worked on. I think that's about all we can say about it. For those of you guys that haven't checked out the Trello board, I want to let you know that you really should. The CDT public Trello board gives you a huge vision into what we're doing right now and what patch and what additions we're looking at putting to the patch and everything. So you should really check that out. That gives you a big opportunity to see everything that we're trying to do and bring to you.
I've just linked it in the chat, so I'll appear in just a second.
So Avi, go ahead and take some questions.
Yeah, so we got some questions coming in. Please bringing them. Could you go into additional details about Matzo's post about server rates? I would rather Matzo do that. He's got much more detailed stuff. So he'll probably post something.
See, could you please go into more detail about the new skill system? How much more detail? More map balance changes. There are changes to the maps. I wouldn't say there's any massive changes that would affect balance, except for maybe Kodiak. There's some stuff that's been adjusted to better help balance on there. We are not expecting to make any huge changes to any existing maps that are official right now. But we are working on other new maps. Again, maps take a long time for most of you to understand. I would say, gosh, you know,
we do have several maps in development right now. There are, you know, it's not like there's not going to be any new maps, and we have several going on. But you have to remember, guys, the maps that are being worked on by community members, and they don't do it full time. So maps will take longer than it would be set by, say, an official person who's working full time.
Right.
But yeah, there's a question about the main menu. Yes, we are working on a new main menu. Can't tell you when it'll be done by because, quite simply, it hasn't been finished yet. So once we have a new menu, it will go in.
Rubaba asks a great question. Have you got the attempting to sync invalid collision rep error logged and/or any progress on fixing it? We are well aware of it. We are hoping to get a fix in very soon, so you will still see that on client and server. One thing that some server ops will also see is a order parameter error. This does not do anything to performance on your server. You will see it on your server. It is high on the list to take care of for 268, but it wasn't game breaking. So we decided to just leave it as is in 267.
Mega with a number 9 in his name, and the new quick play function instantly joins games. It will contact Hive, and it will look at all of the different variables, and it will get you into a game as quickly as possible. So if you just want to jump on a server, it will take into account ping, your skill level, the other people's skill level, and it will just throw you on the closest server that's basically got players on. So if you just want to jump into NS2, the quick join button, I think will get a lot more used than the organized play used to get.
Paranor, any map testing to test all these community maps or something like Caged? I can tell you that we are absolutely looking at popular community made maps and evaluating what would really go into them to bring them on officially. There is a certain level that we have to be able to hit visually and from the framework designed on the map to make sure that moving forward, anybody that's working on it and maintaining it has a better experience to do so. I'm not saying that people don't make maps correctly, but sometimes there are issues with the foundation of a map that can make it very difficult for someone on our team to pick up and continue to work on if that mapper is still not around. So we are looking at a lot of maps, like Avi said, and hopefully we'll have an announcement about one or more of those maps very soon.
Some of the questions are being answered by other CDT members in the chat, so I'm not going to really answer those that have been answered by another member.
Will quick join dump you on an empty server if all servers are full? I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I guess if all the servers are full, it could potentially...
No, Ghoul already answered that he won't. It's in chat.
Ah, thank you, Ghoul.
Yep.
Will the new skill system be visible for players in-game on the scoreboard?
Not this build. Not sure about the future, but certainly not this build.
And we have actually been working on stuff for the next build and a few builds after that, but this is all long-term stuff, so we can't really talk about it, but yeah.
Doom is asking, is combat mode in the works? Well, if you haven't heard, one thing that I can bring up to you right now is that combat is actually moving standalone, and you can find out more by looking at past videos on this channel, or by visiting faultlinegames.com to find out more about the standalone mode of combat. There is a mod of combat mode for NS2 that's also available out there. But go and support the guys at Faultline because they're doing some awesome stuff. Can you talk about when you're going to bring in new player info into NS2 as the player base appears to not be growing? NS2 has sold a lot of copies. The player base goes up and down when there's a sale. But, you know, we are doing what we can to, like we said, smooth out the experience for most people so that in the future, people that might want to come back and check out the game again, that it's possible for them to have a better experience and see why we all love this game as much as we do and why we're still playing.
Yeah. We've had a few people who've tried the game recently after being away, and they've been quite impressed with how the progress has gone. I think as long as we continue to make progress over time, in a few months, I think we'll have an opportunity to see if we can get some new players in.
There's questions about balance.
Take this one.
Okay, so
I think we were going to look into easy, safe balance changes at some point.
Yeah, okay, so James 888 268 will be a smaller patch in the sense that, well, okay, smaller in the sense of overall fixes. It will not be, 9 pages long like 267. We are, like we said, working on the second piece of Matzo's, overall changes that he's been doing. That is going to start testing with 268. One of the other things that's going to be happening with 268, though, is going to be playing with some slight balance changes. Because of the changes that we're making in 267 with the hitching and with the addition of hit sounds and some other items in the game, we want to be able to make sure that we're getting a little bit better accuracy towards the alien and marine win ratios, just to kind of see what changes those make. 268, we're looking to add a few other small adjustments as well. These will not be anything major. I literally mean pretty minor changes, possibly some hit point reduction on certain structures. And there is discussion about cross spawns being implemented, so there's no possibility of the, oh look, we spawned right next to the other team, and the high potential of one team overwhelming the other one very early on in a game. But beyond that, we don't want to make any major changes, specifically because with Matzo's changes coming in and the slight little things that we've been thinking about changing, we want to see how that sways the win-loss ratios, because we think that there is a way in the standard vanilla game to smooth that experience out. Now, that's not to say that we haven't been excited by some of the things we've seen that the community has done and changed in some of their mods, but we want to take it at a slow and steady pace as far as the balance changes go. We feel like balancing around public play, but also bringing in some of the competitive play changes that make sense will be best moving forward. But Comp has Comp Mod, which we think is the best version for them to continue to use, because there will always be things that make more sense for Comp that won't necessarily make sense in the public play.
It's super effective, literally. He did miss his own video. Oh, I see.
Is the old Skulk taunt ever coming back?
Isn't that what we have right now?
Did they mean from NS1?
Yeah. It is the same, isn't it?
Is it the chuckle sound is the same? Yeah. which was the taunt in NS1, I think. Memory's a bit foggy, NS1 is a bit, it has, what, 10, no more.
More than
12
one Marine
years?
can pick up a cat pack. How
Who
does
asked
that work? I thought we fixed that actually you can't drop on multiple Marines anymore.
No, it's not fixed.
Are you sure?
I don't think it is.
No, I specifically remember us testing that one.
Well, we'll test it again.
Yeah. Guys, I mean, obviously we have a pretty good knowledge of bugs that have been reported and things, but as you saw the changelog, we can't remember every single thing that's in there.
Yeah,
but,
9 pages, Google Doc at 0.11 font. It's the longest changelog we've had in months.
Right. Okay.
Well, there was an issue with the fix, so we rolled that back. I don't think it's in 267, but I don't think I don't think it's a showstopper.
Okay, so we're going to take 2 more questions. Have you done anything about the anti-stuck that pushes eggs too far away from walls and sometimes off cliffs?
Oops.
I'm going to say I don't think anything's been done with that. I like that it's pushing things away, but I also think that the push may be too far and so forth as well. So we'll look into that. Destler123, thank you very much for letting us know about that. We just talked about balance. I'm a potential returning NS1 vet, but skulk animations and the way they interact with geometry are still putting me off. Any plans to look into this? Mendasp? That might be a question for another one on our team, and we do have some people in here. But
I'm not sure exactly what his issue is, except that they look really different from the NS1 animations when it was aligning to the walls and everything.
There was a bug months and months and months ago, which was fixed. So if he's not played in a very long time, he should give it another shot, because we spent an awful lot of time playtesting various different skulk animations, especially on different geometry, and it was hitching around, and that was actually fixed.
The thing is, he might not have played in a really, really long time. Skulk animations, like aligning to walls and everything, was changed around build 239 to 2340. I'm not sure which one of the two was that, but it changed, and it sort of changed like the balance of the game in a big way back then. So I don't know. He just has to try it, and if he has an issue with it, he can post it in the forums. If it's not going to vanilla, and I'm interested in it, it might go into NS2+, which is, right?
Is that your answer for everything, Mendasp?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, honestly, people, you are all our guinea pigs. NS2 Plus is really the secret testing site of all of our proposed changes.
It's pretty funny that, like, when the way I think about features for NS2 Plus now is that before I was implementing them because people asked for them, but now, in a way, it's testing for a future NS2 build. So, yeah.
We had a question, will NS2 be getting better AA method like MLAA or MSAA? I can tell you, Sharp, that you can look at one of our past broadcasts where we had McGlaspie on here, and I can tell you that actually yesterday or Friday we had that discussion with him, and we will be looking at potentially making that change in the next couple of builds. So you can bring it up in the forums. I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you about what he's working on. Is Devour... is Devour ever coming to... No.
No, it's not. Combat guys have Devour, so if you want Devour, if you really want to be inside on Osinus, then you can play Combat.
And I have to tell you, the Devour is actually pretty cool in combat, because you get eaten as a Marine, you're like banging it, you can do damage by banging around inside the stomach, and if your friends kill the Onos, you actually cut your way out of the stomach of the Onos, and you flip the body flaps out of the way and climb out. It's pretty awesome.
I'm a fan of the texture for a number of reasons. Let's leave it there.
All right, so we're going to take one more question, and then we're going to go ahead and end the cast today. Looking for it. Not going to say that on the stream. I was going to say fat flaps, but I figured that would probably be just as bad. I see. Oh, now they're asking Mendasp questions. We're not going to talk about those on the stream. All right. Crosshairs ever going to be part of NS2 instead of add it over in the Steam Workshop? I don't...
It's funny. We actually talked about this some builds back, but not with the CDT. It was when Unknown Worlds was still updating the game about having a few crosshair options, like a few vanilla crosshair options. So we could look into that.
I'll tell you
future,
what.
Maybe
we're having a CDT meeting in 7 minutes with the whole team. We'll bring it up to them. We'll talk about it. I'm not necessarily opposed to having a couple more options in there. But at the same time, remember that the workshop is there to provide you with options that maybe aren't in the game yet or ones that won't be in the game. So you have the opportunity to go there and find a crosshair that you really like. So check that out right now in the interim, which I'm sure you have because you brought up workshop. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you very much for coming out and checking out the Clogcast today. I know that this team has been working so hard on all of the changes going into 2.6.7. And a special thank you to Mendasp, since he's here today, for all of the help with NS2 Plus and bringing those things over to the vanilla build for us and being part of our team. We appreciate everything, even though you bring up certain topics that are inappropriate in the chat on a daily basis. But Slackbot seems to like your conversation, so that's okay. Thank you, everybody. Remember, Tuesday, noon PDT, 21 CEST. Everything comes out for your perusal and fun. We hope to see you on the servers. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your continued bringing of awesomeness to this community. And remember, join us on the forums. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you want. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks. And
thanks for all your support, everyone.
good night.